My God is a rock in the weary land, weary land, in the weary land. My God is a rock in the weary land, shelter in the time of storm.
In the 1930s, more than 2,000 formerly enslaved African Americans, by then in their 80s and 90s, were interviewed by the Federal Writers Project, a unit of the Works Progress Administration. They shared their experiences of slave life and the years that came after freedom during Reconstruction. Formerly enslaved people would strive against discrimination, exploitation, and violence to find work, make new homes, and seek education in the hopes of a free and prosperous life. Sarah Ashley was 19 years old when the burst of freedom come in June. Born in Mississippi and separated from her family in the slave auctions, Sarah was enslaved on a plantation in Texas at the end of the Civil War. When the boss man told us freedom was come, he didn't like it, she said. He asked them to stay and help with the crop, but they were so glad to get away that nobody stayed. Each was given a bale of cotton and some corn to start a new life. Sarah sold her bale for $50 and then loaned the money to another freed African American who never repaid her. With no money and no place to go, Sarah worked as a cook in a white man's home. She was paid in food and clothes, but not the monthly salary of $5 she was promised. Many family members, separated during slavery, went in search of each other. Viney Baker was a small child in Virginia when her mother was sold away. One night I lay down on the straw mattress with my mammy, and the next morning I woke up and she was gone, Viney recalled. Her mother was sold to a slave trader while Viney slept, and Viney said she has always been glad somehow that she had been asleep. Viney stayed at the plantation after the Civil War ended, suffering at the hands of the plantation owner much as she did while enslaved. Then one day, when she was about 12 years old, her mother returned for her, and Viney never saw the plantation again. During Reconstruction, segregated schools were established for free African Americans as a means to a better life. Esther King Casey had been taught to read while enslaved. Esther was only 4 or 5 years old when she and her parents were sold to a plantation in Georgia. She served the mistress of the plantation, whom she called her White Lady. Esther said that after the proclamation, slaves were free. Most of them leased out to plantation owners. I stayed with Mama and the White Lady. Her mistress offered to pay for Esther's education as long as Esther would stay with her. Eventually, Esther became a teacher in the public schools that opened for African Americans. The WPA's collection of slave narratives offers a unique perspective on slavery and Reconstruction, and the long, harsh struggles for freedom endured by millions of African Americans.